I've been able to understand animals since I was born. When I was 3, the old golden retriever at my grandma's house started barking frantically at me. Don't drink that. There's rat poison in the soup. I got so scared I knocked the bowl of chicken soup off the table. Half an hour later, a rat that licked up the spill on the floor dropped dead by the baseboard, foaming at the mouth. When I was 7, the neighbor's pet canary spent all day cursing out their nanny. Thief, stole the money and hid it under the bed. The police did a search and found the missing $3,000 exactly where the bird said it was. Fast forward to today, I was waiting in the ER to pick up my dad from his shift when a chaotic scene broke out. The young daughter of a powerful, old-money heiress had been bitten by a snake. The heiress's fiancé rushed into the ER. His own hand was swollen from a snake bite, but he didn't care. He practically shoved a clear plastic container with a snake in it right into my dad's face. My dad, an ER doctor with 20 years of experience, immediately identified it as a cobra and ordered the nurses to prep the cobra antivenom for the little girl. But suddenly, a piercing, frantic series of barks erupted from a fluffy Pomeranian near the door. That's not the snake that bit the little master. That man swapped the snakes. He wants to marry into the rich family, but he doesn't want to be a stepdad. He's intentionally misleading the doctor to let her die. The snake that actually bit her was a king cobra. My pupils contracted violently. I yelled out before I could stop myself. Dad, stop. You can't just give her cobra antivenom. You need to give her banded crate antivenom too. The entire emergency room froze and stared at me. My dad looked utterly confused. Leo, a cobra bite only requires one type of antivenom. We don't need the banded crate serum. I took a step forward. But what if the snake that bit her wasn't this one? What if it was a king cobra? The moment the words left my mouth, the man claiming to be the heiress's fiancé went completely pale. That was all the confirmation I needed. The Pomeranian was telling the truth. This guy had swapped the snakes. I looked at my dad, keeping my voice steady. Dad, you know a king cobra bite delivers both neurotoxins and psychotoxins simultaneously. A single antivenom isn't going to be enough. My dad was a veteran of the ER. He was sharper than most. Hearing me lay it out like that, his expression shifted. But her current symptoms align perfectly with a standard cobra bite, and the family brought the specimen right here. He's full of crap. The Pomeranian was jumping up and down in a panic. Adam intentionally sent the nanny away and had someone release a king cobra through the garden fence. After the little master was bitten, he let the king cobra escape. Hold out this regular cobra he had prepared beforehand, and let it bite his own hand. If the doctor only gives her one antivenom, she is going to die. And then the mistress will definitely make the doctor take the fall for it. I sucked in a sharp breath. This guy was pure evil. He wasn't just trying to murder a little kid. He was setting my dad up to take the blame for medical malpractice. Before I could say another word, Adam, who had just finished receiving his own dose of antivenom, lashed out. Who the hell are you? Do you know spouting nonsense in an ER can kill someone? I'm warning you. This is the granddaughter of the Sterling family. If you delay her treatment, you won't be able to afford the consequences. I didn't back down an inch. You're the one delaying her treatment. You want the Sterling family fortune, but you don't want the baggage of a stepdaughter. So you came up with a sick plan to swap the snake and mislead the doctors. You thought you could walk away with clean hands, inherit the money, and even look like a tragic hero who tried to save her. The ER went dead silent. Every single pair of eyes snapped to Adam, except for the Pomeranian, who was staring at me in absolute shock. You can hear me? It went completely wild with excitement. Oh my God. Yes, the little master is saved. Finally, someone is exposing this evil man. Adam's face lost all its color. He clearly couldn't fathom how I knew the exact details of his plan, but he was a good actor. He regained his composure in a split second. Do you have any proof of this insane conspiracy theory? Keep spouting this garbage and I will sue you for defamation. I ignored him. I turned to look at the Sterling family patriarch. Sir, please believe me. The little girl was bitten by a king cobra. If you only administer one type of antivenom right now, the neurotoxins in her system will go untreated. She won't survive the night. The old man hesitated. Adam, are you absolutely sure this is the snake that bit Kayla? Adam instantly put on a wounded expression. Grandpa, you've seen how much I love Kayla. I chased down the snake with my bare hands. Why would you listen to a total stranger over me? If you still don't believe me, ask the nanny. Everyone's gaze shifted to the nanny in the corner. She immediately nodded vigorously. Why minus yes. Sir, little Kayla was definitely bitten by this exact snake. The Pomeranian was grinding its teeth in rage. He bribed the nanny months ago, behind their backs. He calls the little master a burden. He even calls the old man a half-minus dead geezer, just as the dog predicted. The old man hesitated before sighing. Adam, forgive me. My mind is just clouded with panic. I didn't mean to doubt you. Doctor, go ahead with the cobra antivenom. My dad had been quietly observing the little girl's symptoms. Sir, I strongly advise we exercise caution here. The patient is already beginning to exhibit subtle signs of neurotrichosity. Before he could finish, the director of the ER shoved his way through the crowd. Dr. Hoffman, the family literally brought the specimen with them. This is the Sterling family. If you delay this and something happens, who's going to take the fall? Because it won't be me. He glared at me. He's a vet med student. What does he know about human clinical toxicology? Adam exploded. Director Vance, I risked my own life to catch this snake. It seems I need to have a conversation with my father about pulling the Adam Corporation's funding for this hospital. Director Vance's face went white. He screamed at my dad. Dr. Hoffman, administer the cobra antivenom immediately. If you don't, you can pack up your locker and get out. My dad looked down at the little girl. She was 7 years old. The swelling on her arm was traveling rapidly up toward her shoulder. He took a deep breath and spoke clearly. Nurse Sarah, go to the pharmacy and pull the banded crate antivenom. Director Vance's eyes bulged. Are you insane? She was bitten by a standard cobra. My dad's voice was rock solid. I am the attending physician. I have the ultimate authority to determine the treatment plan. Nurse Sarah nodded and turned to run toward the pharmacy. Adam panicked and lunged forward, grabbing her sleeve. Don't you dare. If you pump her full of unnecessary antivenom and she dies from toxic shock, who will take responsibility? Director Vance yelled at my dad. Mr. Adam and the little girl were bitten by the exact same snake. He's showing zero signs of neurotricacity, but that only made my dad more confident. Exactly. Why would two people bitten by the exact same snake exhibit two completely different physiological reactions? Someone in the crowd muttered. Yeah, why are their symptoms different? Could the kid be right? Did this guy really swap the snake? Adam recovered fast. I'm a full-minded grown adult with a strong immune system. Kayla is a small child. Plus, I already received the antivenom and I'm fine. Before the director could respond, a woman in a sleek black trench coat strode into the ER, flanked by 4 bodyguards. Maya Sterling looked at her daughter, her jaw tightening. What is going on? Why hasn't she received the antivenom yet? Adam threw himself at her. Maya, this vet student is blocking the doctors. I caught the cobra, but he insists it was a king cobra. He's trying to kill her. Maya didn't even look at him. Her gaze landed on me. You're claiming the snake that bit my daughter isn't the one in that box. What proof do you have? I could feel the suffocating pressure of her stare. Proof? Was I supposed to tell her I heard it from her fluffy lap dog? Seeing my silence, Adam smirked. See? He can't produce a single thing. He's just stalling to delay Kayla's treatment. Maya, it's been almost an hour. We have to give her the shot now. Maya finally turned to look at him. You seem very eager. Something about the way she said it made Adam flinch. Maya turned back to me. I checked the security footage. Kayla ran into a blind spot. The cameras didn't catch the bite. Did you see something? The Pomeranian started barking frantically. The boss. Find the boss. There's a stray tabby cat that lives in the garden. After the little master got bit, I saw the boss chase after the snake. A tabby cat. I'm a vet med student. A cat's reaction time is 10 times faster than a snake's. I looked up at Maya with confidence. Ms. Sterling, send your security team to sweep the perimeter of your garden. Check anywhere the stray cats congregate. The snake that actually bit your daughter will be right there. Adam's face warped in horror. Are you insane? I already caught the snake. I cut him off with a dry laugh. Mr. Adam, for a guy who claimed to be dizzy and sick, you're awfully energetic. What exactly are you so terrified of finding? He forced himself to calm down. My conscience is perfectly clear. But if Kayla suffers permanent nerve damage because of your stunt, you will pay. I ignored him and kept my eyes on Maya. The golden window is 2 hours. Your security team is efficient enough to sweep a garden in that time. But if you inject the wrong antivenom, there is no undo button. It's your call. Maya stared at me for 2 agonizing seconds. Then she pulled out her phone. Sweep the garden. Find the snake. She locked eyes with me again. If my daughter suffers any lasting neurological damage because of this delay, I will personally destroy your life. I swallowed hard and nodded. Understood. The next 10 minutes felt like 10 years. My dad checked the little girl's blood oxygen. Director Van spaced. Adam stared daggers at me. The Pomeranian lay flat on the floor by my feet. The boss definitely killed it. I just hope those stupid bodyguards aren't blind. 10 minutes later, Maya's phone rang. She answered. A deep crease formed between her brows. She hung up and her eyes turned lethal. They swept the garden 3 times. They checked a 10-mile radius. Aside from a few feral cats, there is no king cobra. Impossible. The boss would never let it get away. The Pomeranian jumped up at a panic. My heart sank. Adam burst into dramatic sobs. Maya, I told you he was stalling. Please, give Kayla the shot before it's too late. Maya raised a finger to her bodyguards. Take him to the police station. 2 men grabbed my arms. The Pomeranian whined miserably. It's over. The little master is dead. As they dragged me toward the door, I screamed. You can't just give her one shot. You're going to kill her. Adam stepped up and slapped me hard. Shut your mouth. Who paid you? Was it one of Maya's corporate triangles? My dad screamed, his voice breaking. Don't touch my son. He doesn't lie. Adam roared back. He didn't even see the snake. Throw him in the back of my car. I'll interrogate him myself. And grab his dad too. Adam smiled smugly as the bodyguards dragged me closer to the doors. The Pomeranian was desperately biting at Maya's trench coat. No, the nice boy didn't lie. Don't let Adam take him. Maya glanced down at the dog tugging on her coat. A slight frown on her face. She opened her mouth to speak. But before she could, a golden-brown blur launched itself through the sliding glass doors of the ER. With a wet, heavy thud, a 6-foot long, dark brown snake was dropped onto the sterile white tiles. A ragged, battle-scarred tabby cat sat down next to it and casually started licking its paw. Meow. I'm exhausted. It took me forever to find out which hospital the kid was at. Better not be too late. The second Adam's eyes locked onto the mangled corpse of the king cobra on the floor, his face drained of every single drop of blood.
The entire ER erupted. Nurses screamed. Security guards jumped back. The battle-scarred tabby looked around in annoyance. Seriously? I kill one giant snake for you people and this is the welcome I get? The Pomeranian barked so hard it nearly fainted. Boss. You actually found us. The tabby flicked its tail. Of course I did. That skinny human released this monster into my territory. It chased me halfway across the gardens before I snapped its neck. It pointed a paw straight at Adam. That's him. Every eye in the room turned. Adam stumbled backward. That's not the snake. Anyone could have brought that in. The tabby rolled its eyes. Liar. I watched you pull that harmless cobra out of a plastic box and swap it after the little human got bitten. My heart pounded. Miss Sterling. I pointed at the dead snake. Check its fangs. My dad immediately crouched beside the carcass without touching it. Forceps. A nurse handed them over. Seconds later his expression hardened. This is a king cobra. He lifted its head carefully. The fung spacing is completely different from the specimen in Adam's container. The toxicologist who had just arrived took one look. I agree. He looked at Maya. This child needs king cobra antivenom immediately. No. Adam whispered. No, that's impossible. Maya's face became frighteningly calm. Treat my daughter. The ER exploded into motion. Nurses rushed the antivenom over. My dad personally administered it while monitoring every vital sign. 5 agonizing minutes passed. Then, Kayla's oxygen saturation stopped falling. Her breathing steadied. The muscle spasms began to ease. My dad let out a long breath. She's responding. Several nurses quietly sighed in relief. Director Vance nearly collapsed against the wall. Adam, meanwhile, looked like he was about to faint. The tabby yawned. Told you. Before anyone could say another word, Maya slowly walked toward Adam. One question. Her voice was terrifyingly soft. Why? Adam tried to force tears. Maya, I don't know how that snake got there. Slap. The crack echoed through the ER. His head whipped sideways. You lied to me. I didn't. Another slap. You used my daughter. I swear. A third slap. So you could inherit my family's fortune. Adam suddenly dropped to his knees. I panicked. I only wanted a better life. I wasn't actually going to let her die. The entire ER went silent. Maya stared down at him. You just confessed. Adam froze. His mouth slowly fell open. He realized everyone had heard it. Including the 2 police officers who had arrived after Maya's earlier call. One officer stepped forward. Adam Collins. You're under arrest for attempted murder, conspiracy, evidence tampering, and assault. The handcuffs clicked around his wrists. No. He struggled wildly. I didn't mean it. This was all the nanny's idea. The nanny immediately screamed. You promised me $1 million. I only opened the garden gate. Adam stared at her in horror. You idiot. The second officer calmly cuffed her too. Thank you. That saves us time. As Adam was dragged away, he suddenly twisted toward me. How? How did you know? You weren't even there. I simply looked at him. Sometimes. The truth has witnesses you never notice. He was hauled out screaming. Silence settled over the ER. The tabby stretched lazily. Well. My work here is done. It turned to leave. I quietly whispered. Thank you. The old cat paused. It glanced back with surprised green eyes. So, you understand us too? I smiled. I've understood animals my whole life. The cat snorted. Humph. About time one of you humans started listening. With that, it trotted out of the hospital. The Pomeranian proudly followed after it, barking. Boss. Wait for me. Maya watched them disappear before turning back to me. My daughter is alive because you refused to stay silent. She bowed her head. A billionaire, bowing to an ordinary college student. Thank you. My dad rested a hand on my shoulder, pride shining in his eyes. For the first time since this nightmare began. I smiled. 3 hours later, Kayla opened her eyes. Mom? Maya grabbed her daughter's hand immediately. I'm here. Kayla blinked weakly before bursting into tears. Mama. Maya hugged her carefully, trying not to disturb the 4 lines. It's over. You're safe. Outside the ICU, detectives were already piecing everything together. The forensic report arrived first. The venom collected from Kayla's blood matched the dead king cobra the tabby had dragged into the hospital. It did not match the cobra Adam had brought in. Then the security team searched Adam's car. Hidden beneath the trunk liner they found disposable gloves, a snake hook, a receipt from an illegal exotic animal dealer, and a second phone. The second phone was even worse. Messages filled the screen. Adam, did the nanny leave the garden? Unknown, yeah. Release the snake now. Adam, remember, only the kid gets bitten. Unknown, what if someone sees? Adam, nobody will. I'll catch another snake afterward. The detective slowly lowered the phone. Case closed. Director Vance wasn't celebrating. He sat in his office as representatives from the hospital board walked in. One of them placed a folder on his desk. Director Vance. Effective immediately, you're suspended pending investigation. His face turned white. You can't do this. Another board member replied coldly. You attempted to overrule the attending physician for the sake of a donor. You nearly cost a 7-year-old her life. You also ordered security to detain an innocent civilian. Vance's shoulders slumped. He knew his career was over. Meanwhile, reporters had gathered outside the hospital. News of the Sterling heiress surviving an attempted murder spread like wildfire. Unfortunately. So did my face. Cameron. Did you really identify the snake? how did you know Adam switched them? Were you an eyewitness? Microphones crowded around me. I awkwardly scratched my head. I just noticed a few inconsistencies. It wasn't exactly a lie. I just couldn't mention that those inconsistencies barked and meowed. Later that evening, Maya invited my father and me into Kayla's hospital room. Kayla smiled weakly when she saw me. You're the big brother who saved me. I smiled back. The doctors saved you. She shook her head stubbornly. Mom said you made them look again. Maya stood beside the window. I've already spoken to the police. They wanted to know why you suspected Adam. She looked directly at me. I told them you observed details everyone else ignored. She paused. I didn't mention anything unusual. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Then Maya quietly asked. Can I ask you something? Of course. When my dog started barking at Adam, did you happen to notice that? I froze. She continued before I answered. Princess has always adored Adam. But today, she wouldn't go near him. I've never seen her react like that. Her sharp eyes searched mine. You noticed it too, didn't you? I chose my words carefully. Animals can sense things humans often miss. Maya studied me for several long seconds. Finally, she smiled faintly. I thought so. She didn't press any further. Whether she suspected the truth or not. She let it stay between us. Just then, a familiar raspy meow came from the windowsill. The scarred tabby had somehow climbed 3 stories to sit outside the glass. Humph. The little human looks better. The Pomeranian sat proudly beside him. Told you he'd save her. I couldn't help smiling. Maya noticed. What are you looking at? Just. I watched the 2 animals stroll off into the night together. Some very good friends. A week later, the case was officially closed. Adam was charged with attempted murder, conspiracy, evidence tampering, assault, and animal cruelty after investigators uncovered evidence that he had used multiple illegally obtained venomous snakes in his plot. The nanny accepted a plea deal and testified against him. Director Vance resigned before the hospital board could fire him. My dad was publicly cleared of any wrongdoing. Instead of being blamed for Kayla's near death, he was praised for trusting his medical judgment when it mattered most. As for me, I went back to veterinary school. Life slowly became normal again. Well, as normal as it could be when pigeons constantly argued outside my apartment over bread, squirrels accused each other of theft, and neighborhood crows held what sounded suspiciously like weekly town meetings. One afternoon, I was leaving class when I heard a familiar bark. The Pomeranian came sprinting across campus. Human. Human. You forgot this. It proudly dropped my student ID at my feet. Behind it, the old tabby sauntered over. I told him you'd lose it. I laughed. Thanks. The tabby flicked an ear. Just remember. Humans think they run the world. They don't. It belongs to whoever notices the little things. I smiled as the 2 animals wandered off together. Maybe that old cat was right. Most people thought my gift was hearing animals talk. It wasn't. My real gift was learning that every life, whether it barked, meowed, chirped, or hissed, had a story worth listening to. Sometimes the smallest witness could expose the biggest lie. And sometimes, all it took to save a life, was believing the voice no one else could hear.